You keep seeing the posts, no new images of 3I Atlas. NASA hiding data, government cover-up. The interstellar visitor went behind the sun and disappeared. Something happened during perihelion. They broke it up. They lost it. They're not telling us the truth. Except here's the thing. Every single one of those claims is wrong. Dead wrong. And the proof is sitting right there in publicly available data if anyone bothers to look. On November 5th, 2025, the Lowell Discovery Telescope in Arizona captured 3I Atlas at 1.38 astronomical units from the sun. November 6th, Gianluca Masi at the Virtual Telescope Project in Manciano. Italy grabbed it just 8 degrees above the eastern horizon with an almost full moon washing out the sky. November 9th, Frank Niebling and Michael Buchner stacked 5 exposures, 3 minutes each, showing tightly collimated jets extending over 1 million kilometers. November 10th and 11th, more images from Manciano showing a developing ion tail spanning at least 0.7 degrees. November 11th, David Jewett and Jane Liu at the Nordic Optical Telescope confirmed a single intact body with a sunward anti-tail. No fragmentation, no breakup. November 16th, Satoru Murata in New Mexico combined 24 60-second exposures, revealing multiple jets both toward and away from the sun. November 17th, Francois Kugel stacked 22 30-second shots with a 0.4 meter telescope. That's new images, multiple observatories, multiple dates, all released publicly, all available for anyone to examine. The myth that there are no new images is garbage. This script is researched and factual, using sources from Avi Loeb's verified Medium posts published between November 5th and November 17th, 2025. NASA's official science page for Comet 3I Atlas updated through November. 17. Peer-reviewed observations published in Astronomy and Astrophysics Journal, volume 693 from October 2025, by Tony Santana-Rose and colleagues at multiple European observatories and ESA's Planetary Defense. Coordination Center reports from November 14. These aren't generic press releases. These are observation logs with timestamps, telescope specifications, coordinate grids, exposure times, filter data. Now back to the information. The panic started in early October. 3. I Atlas reached perihelion on October 29th, 2025, passing 1.36 astronomical units from the Sun, that's 203 million kilometers, safely between Earth and Mars orbits. But from Earth's perspective, the comet went behind the Sun. Solar conjunction happened October 21st. Ground-based telescopes couldn't see it. Space telescopes pointing away from Earth couldn't track it. For about 2 weeks, amateur astronomers and conspiracy channels lost visual contact. That's when the rumors exploded. No images means NASA lost it. No images means it broke apart. No images means they're hiding something. Except observers didn't lose it. Mars orbiters had a perfect view. On October 2nd and 3rd, when 3I Atlas came within 29 million kilometers of Mars, multiple spacecraft locked on. ESA's ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter used its Color and Stereo Surface Imaging System, CASIS, with a 13.5 centimeter primary mirror, 5-second color exposures. The comet appeared as a fuzzy ball of light with a coma diameter measuring several thousand kilometers, matching the morphology from Hubble's July 21st image, taken at 450 million kilometers distance. ESA's Mars Express added lower resolution data. China National Space Administration released images from Tianwen-1's high-resolution imaging camera on October 3rd at 28.96 million kilometers range. The HiRIC camera has a 38.7 centimeter aperture. The images show the nucleus and surrounding coma. CNSA even generated an animation of 3I Atlas moving across the Martian sky from 30-second exposures. NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter captured the highest resolution images ever obtained of 3I Atlas, using the HiRISE camera with its 50-centimeter aperture. Spatial resolution 30 kilometers per pixel, 3 times better than Hubble. Side view of the anti-tail and jets. Those images were taken October 2nd through 7th, but held due to the United States government shutdown that ran from October 1st through November 12th, 43 days. Representative Anna Paulina Luna from Florida sent an official letter to NASA Interim Administrator Sean Duffy on November 6th, 2025, requesting immediate release of the HiRISE data. She tweeted on November 13th, "Just had a good conversation with NASA regarding 3I Atlas. As soon as the government reopens, they'll be releasing images/data. Unfortunately, due to bureaucratic reasons, they cannot until then." The shutdown ended November 12th. NASA announced on November 17th that a live event will take place 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, November 19th, 2025, at Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, to share imagery of 3I Atlas. collected by multiple agency missions. The event airs on NASA Plus, the NASA app, the agency's website, YouTube channel, and Amazon Prime. So yes, there was a delay. Bureaucratic, not conspiratorial. The images exist. They're coming. Meanwhile, Earth-based observations resumed early November as the comet emerged from behind the Sun. Angular separation from the Sun exceeded 30 degrees. Observatories worldwide started tracking again. The Virtual Telescope Project scheduled a live stream for November 19th at 04:15 UTC. That's November 18th at 11:15 p.m. Eastern, featuring live views from robotic telescopes in Manciano, Italy. The myth of no new images collapses under the weight of actual observation logs. Natural comets often fragment when approaching the Sun. The intense solar radiation, gravitational stress, thermal shock, plenty of comets don't survive. So when 3 I-Atlas disappeared behind the Sun at perihelion and early post-perihelion images from November 5th showed no clear cometary tail, speculation ran wild. The comet disintegrated. It's gone. Except David Jewett and Jane Liu proved otherwise on November 11th. Their Nordic optical telescope images at 1.43 astronomical units from the Sun and 2.16 from Earth show a single body. No fragmentation. No debris field. The image region spans approximately 500,000 kilometers. The glow surrounding 3 I-Atlas shows a prominent elongation at position angle 106 degrees, plus or minus 10, close to the projected sunward direction of 115 degrees. An antitail pointing toward the Sun. A weaker asymmetry appears at position angle 301 degrees plus or minus 1, near the projected antisolar direction of 295 degrees, filtered through R-band to exclude most gaseous emission lines. The comet is intact. The November 9th image from Niebling and Buchner shows jets extending over 1 million kilometers. At the expected thermal speed of sublimated volatiles from a natural comet, 400 meters per second, material takes about a month to traverse 1 million kilometers. The jets should have been smeared by the comet's rotation period of 16.16 hours, derived from July and August observations by multiple teams and published in Astronomy and Astrophysics. Yet the jets appeared tightly collimated, not smeared. That's anomalous for a natural rotating comet, but it doesn't mean breakup. It means the outgassing pattern is more complex than simple models predict. Possibly due to ice pockets in deep valleys shadowed by mountains, exposed to direct sunlight only at specific angles, creating pulsating outflows. 43 puffs separated by 23,270 kilometers if you do the math, all generally sunward because the ice cools when not illuminated. The anti-sunward jets evident in images from November 8th and later suggest a different mechanism, maybe sustained outgassing from regions that retain heat. The data shows complexity, not destruction. Myth number 2. 3. I-Atlas is an alien spacecraft. This one's been circulating since July. The comet exhibits unusual features. An antitail pointing toward the Sun instead of away, first observed by Hubble on July 21st. Non-gravitational acceleration detected by NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, normalized at heliocentric distance 1 astronomical unit, suggesting mass loss of more than 13% during perihelion passage. Yet November 5th, images from R. Naves Observatory in Spain and Virtual Telescope Project show no massive coma, no typical cometary tail pointing away from the Sun like you'd expect after losing 13% of mass. Compare that to Comet Lemon imaged November 3rd by the same R. Naves Observatory showing a clear cometary tail away from the Sun. The differences are stark. Add the fact that 3 I-Atlas has a retrograde trajectory aligned within 5 degrees of the ecliptic plane, a configuration with only 0.2% likelihood for a random interstellar object. Then there's the detection of nickel vapor at nearly 4 times Earth's distance from the Sun, temperatures too cold for metals to normally vaporize, reported by Rohan Rahatgaonkar and Thomas Puzia in a research paper submitted October 25th. 2025. James Webb Space Telescope on August 6th detected large amounts of carbon dioxide and nickel using its near-infrared spectrograph. Carbon monoxide detected by Spherex Space Observatory, but centrally concentrated compared to extended carbon dioxide emission. The chemical signatures don't match typical solar system comets. Polarimetric observations from Very Large Telescope, Nordic Optical Telescope, and Rosen Observatory in July and August revealed unusually high negative polarization at small phase angles. Light reflected. From the coma has oscillations oriented. Along the Sun-Comet observer plane, similar to trans-Neptunian objects, suggesting a mixture of icy and dark material. Had 12 anomalies documented by Avi Loeb, head of Harvard's Galileo project, the ecliptic alignment, the sunward antitail, the non-gravitational acceleration without a visible tail, the high negative polarization, the nickel vapor at cold. Distances, the carbon dioxide fog, the tight jets not smeared by rotation, the lack of post-perihelion tail, the sunward jets not explained by perspective geometry, the carbon monoxide concentration, the reddening coma throughout July indicating evolving composition in the tightly collimated million-kilometer jets. 12 anomalies, each one documented, each one strange. And here's where the scientific community splits. Most astronomers say natural comet, just unusual. Loeb says we should consider all possibilities, including artificial origin, not because it's likely, but because we need to check. The data is anomalous enough to warrant scrutiny. Icy dust, not technology. Hubble observations from July through August show a teardrop-shaped cocoon of dust coming off a solid, icy nucleus. Nucleus diameter estimates as of August 20th range from 440 meters to 5.6 kilometers. That's comet scale. Rotation period 16.16 hours, plus or minus 0.01 from photometric data. Light curve amplitude approximately 0.3 magnitudes. Dust activity increasing throughout July. Reddish color indicative of dust similar to the previous interstellar comet TU-I-Borisov. Dust mass loss rates estimated between 0.3 and 4.2 kilograms per second, consistent with weakly active distant comets. Spectral colors match outer solar system comets. Morphological properties consistent with a comet despite interstellar provenance. The astronomy and astrophysics paper by Santana Rose and colleagues concludes the morphological and photometric properties of 3I Atlas are consistent with a weakly active comet of outer solar system origin, despite its interstellar provenance. Natural explanation fits most of the data. The anomalies are interesting, worth studying, but don't require invoking alien technology. NASA, ESA, SETI, even SpaceX CEO Elon Musk all confirm natural comet. The myth of an alien spacecraft is based on misunderstanding unusual but natural phenomena. Still, Loeb placed an official bet with Michael Shermer, executive director of the Skeptic Society, on November 10, 2025, that within 5 years, by December 31st, 2030, there will be undisputable scientific evidence for a technological artifact from an extraterrestrial civilization. Bet money goes to the foundation of the Galileo Project. Loeb's position, the search for technological artifacts, just started in earnest in 2025 with 3I Atlas, the launch of Rubin Observatory, and construction of 3 Galileo Project observatories. His bet isn't confirmation that 3I Atlas is artificial. It's confidence that systematic searching will eventually find something. That's science, not myth. This one spread on TikTok, X, Reddit in September and October. Viral posts claiming massive interstellar comet barreling toward Earth. Doomsday predictions. Impact scenarios. NASA had to issue official statements. The facts. 3I Atlas was discovered July 1st, 2025 by the NASA-funded Atlas Survey Telescope at Rio Hurtado, Chile, observatory code W68. At apparent magnitude 18, entering the inner solar system at 61 kilometers per second relative to the Sun, located 3.5, 0 astronomical units from Earth, 4.51 from the Sun. Pre-discovery observations extend back to June 14th from Zwicky Transient Facility and Atlas telescopes. Amateur astronomer Sam Dean found additional Atlas pre-discovery observations from June 5th. The comet wasn't discovered earlier because it was passing in front of the galactic center's dense star fields, where it would be hard to discern. Initial observations unclear if asteroid or comet. Observations on July 2nd by Deep Random Survey in Chile, Lowell Discovery Telescope in Arizona, Canada, France, Hawaii. Telescope at Mauna Kea all showed marginal coma with potential tail-like elongation 3 arcseconds long. Confirmed comet. MPC announced discovery July 2nd, gave it interstellar object designation 3I, signifying third interstellar object confirmed. By the time 3I Atlas was officially named, MPC had collected 122 observations from 31 observatories. The trajectory is hyperbolic. It does not follow a closed orbital path about the Sun. When traced into the past, it clearly originates from outside our solar system. Closest approach to Earth, 1.8 astronomical units, about 170 million miles or 270 million kilometers. That happened July 21st, perihelion, October 29th at 1.36 AU from the Sun. The comet poses no threat to Earth and will remain far away. ESA confirms the trajectory maintains more than 2.5 times the Earth-Sun distance, making any possibility of impact completely impossible. NASA astronomer Helen MacArthur explained that studying 3I Atlas helps scientists understand what materials exist in other planetary systems. No danger, just discovery. The myth of an Earth threat is pure fabrication. Myth number 4, secret military operations to deflect or destroy 3I Atlas. This fiction emerged from fringe websites in late September. Claims of coordinated international defense efforts, emergency meetings, deflection missions, all invented. Al Jazeera's Sanad fact-check team exposed the fabrications on October 4th. No evidence of reconnaissance missions, no military coordination, no biblical ties like claimed October 22nd tail impact. The theories thrive on misinformation, exploiting cosmic unknowns. Fact-checking organizations systematically debunked every claim. A viral post falsely attributed statements to a prominent physicist suggesting the object might have hostile intent. Investigators found the circulating image was from an unrelated February 2025 interview, months before the comet's discovery. Reality. 3. iAtlas is being observed by NASA assets including Hubble, Webb, TESS, SWIFT, SphereX, Perseverance Mars Rover, Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, Curiosity Rover, Europa Clipper, Lucy, Psyche, Parker Solar Probe, Punch, and ESA NASA's SOHO. And JUICE? That's scientific observation, not military action. ESA's ExoMars, Trace Gas Orbiter, and Mars Express both captured data in October. The resulting data is the first time astrometric measurements from spacecraft orbiting another planet have been officially submitted and accepted into the Minor Planet Center database. ESA improved the comet's predicted location by a factor of 10 thanks to Mars-based observations. Valuable exercise for planetary defense, but not because. 3I Atlas poses threat because triangulating data from Earth with observations from second location in space hones important skills, boosts readiness for actual threats. The myth of military intervention is conspiracy theory with zero basis. Scientists responded, no color change occurred. The reddening observed throughout July 2025 is a natural process as comets approach the sun and shed dust. The coma became redder, indicating evolving surface or coma composition due to increasing cometary activity, reported in the Santana Rose August paper. Multiple telescopes showed the coma had reddish color indicative of dust from the start, similar to 2 Orningao Borisov. The apparent brightness changes are due to viewing geometry, distance from sun, and outgassing rates, all normal comet behavior. No manipulation, no mystery, just physics. The myth relies on misunderstanding natural processes. Age, possibly 7 billion years old if it originated from the Milky Way's thick disk, older than the solar system itself by 3 billion years. A time capsule from another star system. Journey, traveling at 210,000 kilometers per hour. That's 130,000 miles per hour, or 61 kilometers per second relative to the sun. It's been drifting through interstellar space for billions of years, maybe 10 billion, carrying ancient material formed around a different star. Origin, unclear exactly where in the galaxy it came from. Scientists believe either the Milky Way's thin disk or thick disk. Trajectory suggests it was ejected from its home system by gravitational interactions, likely giant planet scattering, the same process that shapes Oort clouds around other stars. Composition. Unusually rich in carbon dioxide with a potentially thick irradiated crust from billions of years of cosmic ray exposure. The irradiation makes it harder to decipher properties that would reveal conditions of its home star system, but also makes it a unique scientific target. The chemical signatures reflect ancient origin and long journey through interstellar space. Mass. Estimates suggest it could be 33 billion tons if the larger diameter estimate of 5.6 kilometers is correct. Even at the smaller estimate of 440 meters, it's substantial. For comparison, 1I Oumuamua in 2017 measured about 100 meters by 1,000 meters. 2I Borisov in 2019 measured about 1 kilometer diameter. 3. iAtlas is the most massive of the 3 confirmed interstellar visitors. Activity. The comet is venting gas and dust as solar radiation heats its surface. Carbon dioxide detected extending far from the nucleus. Nickel vapor at cold distances. Carbon monoxide centrally concentrated. Water loss described as like a fire hose on full blast by some observers. The activity level increases closer to the sun, expected behavior, but the chemical composition and outgassing patterns don't perfectly match solar system comets. That's what makes it valuable for science. It's a sample from a different stellar environment. ESA's JUICE mission will track it through the outer solar system. The comet will reach closest approach to Earth on December 19th, 2025, at 1.8 AU, still far away, still safe. The angle between the comet and sun in Earth's sky is growing to several tens of degrees, allowing terrestrial observers to track with confidence. Virtual Telescope Project livestream November 19th. NASA image release event also November 19th. Amateur astronomers with small backyard telescopes can resolve the bright central coma as a fuzzy blob at apparent magnitude around 10.9, too dim for naked eye but visible through optics. The observation window extends through early December before the comet fades as it moves outward, projected to depart the solar system entirely in March 2026. Once it gets too faint to see, it will never be seen again. It's just passing through. One Oumuamua is still within our solar system but out in the Kuiper Belt vicinity, invisible to current telescopes. 3. I-Atlas will follow the same path, a brief visitor providing a glimpse of materials from another star before vanishing forever into interstellar space. Diameter of the nucleus constrained by the brightest pixel, better than Hubble resolution by a factor of 3. Side view of the anti-tail geometry instead of edge-on view, multiple wavelengths, spectroscopic data from Mars orbiters. All of it feeding into analysis of composition, structure, outgassing mechanisms. Vera C. Rubin Observatory serendipitously imaged 3I Atlas during science validation observations, June 21st through July 3rd. Those observations showed slight increase in coma diameter, provided constraints on nucleus diameter. The Rubin Observatory would have discovered 3I Atlas 2 weeks earlier if science validation had started on schedule. Going forward, Rubin will detect far more interstellar objects. Estimates suggest 1 or 2 per year once fully operational. The anticipated flood of discoveries from Rubin starting 2025 means 3. I-Atlas won't be the last interstellar visitor we study in detail, but it's the third confirmed and the first since 2 Itaowatlni-Borisov in 2019. 6 years between visitors. The rarity makes current observations critical. Miss the window and the data is gone forever. Immediate follow-up observations from professional and amateur astronomers worldwide. Pre-discovery images found in archives extending back to May 21st from Weizmann Astrophysical Observatory, published July 18th. Rapid confirmation of interstellar origin within 24 hours. MPC designation July 2nd. By July 6th, 122 observations from 31 observatories. Hubble observations July 21st. Webb observations August 6th. TESS, satellite detecting activity at 955 million kilometers. Ground-based spectroscopy from Very Large Telescope, Nordic Optical Telescope, Rosen Observatory, Southern Astrophysical Research Telescope. Photometric monitoring from multiple facilities. Mars spacecraft observations, October 2nd through 7th. Post-perihelion Earth-based observations, resuming November 6th onward. Live streams, public data releases, peer-reviewed papers. The system is transparent. The data is accessible. The claims of cover-up don't withstand scrutiny. Avi Loeb posted 12 separate Medium articles between November 5th and November 17th, documenting the post-perihelion observations, analyzing anomalies, sharing images from various observers, reproducing emails from the public showing widespread interest. His advocacy for releasing the high-rise data accelerated the NASA announcement. His bet with Shermer reflects genuine scientific debate about how to interpret anomalous data. That's healthy. Science advances through questioning, through proposing hypotheses, through testing them against evidence. The mainstream astronomical community interprets the data as unusual natural comet. Loeb and Galileo Project colleagues argue the anomalies warrant considering artificial origin as a possibility to be ruled out rather than dismissed. Both sides agree on the data. They differ on interpretation and methodology. That's not conspiracy. That's the scientific method in action. The public can watch it unfold in real time through published papers, blog posts, live streams, NASA events. Images from November 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 16th, 17th, multiple observatories, multiple instruments, publicly posted, analyzed, discussed. The high-rise images from October were delayed by government shutdown, acknowledged by NASA and Congress, scheduled for release November 19th. China released Tianwen-1 images in early November. ESA released ExoMars and Mars Express images in October. The Virtual Telescope Project alone has posted 6 separate observation sessions in November. The idea that observations stopped or that data is being hidden is contradicted by the observation logs themselves. Every major claim propagating through social media has a factual counter. The comet didn't break up, confirmed intact November 11th. It's not an alien spacecraft. Spectral analysis shows icy dust consistent with natural comet composition. It poses no threat. Trajectory keeps it far from Earth with closest approach 1.8 AU. No military deflection operations, only scientific observation missions. No color change manipulation, natural reddening from dust as comet approaches sun. The myths persist because they're more exciting than reality. Reality is, we have an ancient comet from another star system, possibly 7 billion years old, giving us a rare opportunity to study material formed in a different stellar environment. That's extraordinary. That's scientifically valuable. That's worthy of attention. But it's not a crisis. It's not a cover-up. It's not aliens. It's astronomy. Comment your location. Support evidence-based reporting. Now, the second half of this investigation. The 3 means third interstellar object. The I stands for interstellar. ATLAS is the survey telescope that discovered it, Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. Simple designation following established naming conventions from the Minor Planet Center. But posts started calling it the Atlas Comet, like it's affiliated with some secret program. Or the Manhattan-sized visitor playing up size for drama when the diameter is actually uncertain, ranging from 440 meters to 5.6 kilometers depending on albedo assumptions. Or the Nickel Comet, focusing on one unusual chemical signature while ignoring the broader composition. Language matters, precision matters. The moment you start calling it the visitor or the object instead of Comet 3 I Atlas, you're priming people for mystery instead of science. Media literacy failure compounds the problem. A Harvard professor speculates about technological possibilities, and suddenly headlines read, "Harvard scientist says alien spacecraft." Avi Loeb never said 3 I Atlas is definitely artificial. He said the anomalies are interesting enough to warrant investigation without dismissing artificial origin a priori. That's a methodological position about how to do science when faced with unusual data. It's not a claim of certainty. But nuance doesn't survive social media. A fact-checker debunks a specific false claim about military operations, and suddenly posts claim fact-checkers admit NASA hiding data. Reading comprehension matters. The fact check said no military operations, not that all data is public. Some data was delayed by shutdown. That's different from hiding. Words have meanings. The government shutdown added fuel because it provided a real delay that conspiracy theories could latch onto. 43 days, October 1st through November 12th. Longest shutdown since the 2018 to 2019 shutdown that lasted 35 days. During shutdowns, NASA websites don't get updated. Mission data processing continues, but public release stops. The high-rise images were processed but not released. That's bureaucratic delay, not scientific conspiracy. The data exists. The processors knew what was in the images. They couldn't release during shutdown due to federal employee furlough rules. Annoying? Yes. Evidence of cover-up? No. But for people already suspicious, the timing looked convenient. Comet goes behind sun right as shutdown starts. Images get held. Comes back out after shutdown ends. Images scheduled for release. If you want to see a pattern, you can find one. Except the shutdown was caused by congressional budget failure, not by comet timing. And China and ESA released their Mars orbiter images during this period, proving the data exists and contradicting any cover-up narrative. Logic defeats conspiracy. An object is classified as interstellar based on orbital mechanics. Hyperbolic trajectory, excess velocity, origin traced to outside solar system when trajectory is calculated backward. 1I Oumuamua in 2017 established the template. Discovered October 19, 2017 by Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii. Hyperbolic excess velocity 26 kilometers per second. Trajectory traced to interstellar space. MPC gave it designation 1I/2017 U1. 1. For first interstellar object. I for interstellar. Then the discovery details. 2I Borisov discovered August 30th, 2019 by amateur astronomer Gennady Borisov in Crimea. Hyperbolic orbit. Excess velocity 32 kilometers per second. Designated 2I/Borisov. Now 3I Atlas. Hyperbolic trajectory. Origin clearly interstellar. The math is straightforward. The designation is official. We've now confirmed 3 interstellar objects in 8 years. 1. I was likely an asteroid, unusual elongated shape, no coma detected. 2. I was definitely a comet, clear coma and tail, composition similar to solar system comets. 3. I is definitely a comet, but with unusual composition and behavior, distinguishing it from both solar system comets and Teoiudaruai, a Borisov. Each interstellar visitor teaches us something about planetary system formation, ejection mechanisms, interstellar space conditions, chemical evolution. The public confusion around no new images stems partly from not understanding how observational astronomy works. When an object goes behind the sun from Earth's perspective, ground-based telescopes can't observe it. Simple geometry. Solar glare overwhelms faint objects. This happens to every comet that passes through solar conjunction. It's not mysterious, it's predictable. Smart observers planned ahead. Mars orbiters had viewing angle advantage in October, they observed. Data got processed, released on schedules determined by each space agency, publicly posted. Meanwhile, professional astronomers knew exactly when Earth-based observations could resume. They calculated the angular separation needed, about 30 degrees minimum achieved early November. They started observing November 5th, 6th, and onward. Images appeared within days. That's normal operational tempo. The Virtual Telescope project posts images same day or next day. Professional observatories release data within days to weeks, depending on processing needs. Hubble and Webb images go through more extensive calibration, take longer. Mars orbiter data involves multiple agencies with different release protocols. None of this is unusual, it's standard procedure. The claim of no new images was only true during the narrow window when 3I Atlas was too close to the Sun for Earth-based observation, and Mars orbiter data hadn't been released yet. That window was October 21st through November 4th, about 2 weeks. Before that window, images available. After that window, images available. During the window, patience required, not conspiracy. The specific technical details matter for evaluating claims. Hubble's July 21st image at 277 million miles from Earth used exposure times tracking the comet's hyperbolic trajectory, causing stationary background stars to streak, teardrop-shaped cocoon of dust. Resolution limited by Hubble's 2.4 meter primary mirror. The HiRISE camera has 0.5 meter primary mirror, smaller than Hubble, but the October observations at 29 million kilometers from Mars provided 9 times closer distance than Hubble in July, compensating for smaller aperture. Spatial resolution 30 kilometers per pixel, 3 times better than Hubble. That's real improvement. The China Tianwen-1 HiRIC camera has 0.387 meter aperture, inferior to HiRISE, but still captured useful data at 28.96 million kilometers. ESA's Cassis has just 0.135 meter mirror, surface area 300 times smaller than Hubble, yet detected the glow out to 680 kilometers, consistent with Hubble's surface brightness profile. Different instruments with different capabilities, all contributing to comprehensive dataset. The November ground-based images use telescopes from 0.2 meter aperture like Murata's Celestron Edge HD 800 in New Mexico, up to 0.4 meter like Kugel's telescope. Amateur astrophotographers stack multiple exposures to improve signal-to-noise ratio. Niebling and Buckner stacked 5 3-minute exposures. Murata stacked 24 60-second exposures. Kugel stacked 22 30-second exposures. Virtual Telescope project uses robotic telescopes with CCD cameras, posts images with full technical specifications, camera model, exposure time, filter, UTC timestamp. Transparency builds trust. When observers show their work, others can verify or refute. At 16.1 6-hour rotation period, a point on the comet's surface rotates through 360 degrees every 16 hours. Material ejected at 400 meters per second would travel 23 million meters in 16 hours. That's 23,000 kilometers. If jets were continuously emitting from fixed surface locations, rotation would smear them into spiral patterns. But Niebling and Buckner's November 9th image shows jets extending over 1 million kilometers. That's 43 rotation periods worth of distance, remaining tightly collimated. Either the rotation period changed, unlikely for a solid body, or the jets are pulsed with a period matching rotation, emitting only when specific features face the sun, or the jets originate from fragments that separated and maintain their own orientations. Or the apparent jets are trails from multiple small ejection events rather than continuous streams. Each explanation has implications. Pulsed outgassing requires specific surface geometry, valleys, craters, or topographic features that shadow ice until sun angle is right. That means a rough, varied surface morphology. Fragment ejection means the comet is shedding pieces, maybe not catastrophic breakup, but gentle splitting. Trail interpretation means we're seeing history of past outgassing events rather than current continuous jets. The November 11th image from Jewett and Liu shows single body, so catastrophic fragmentation is ruled out, but gentle shedding of small fragments remains possible. The scientific debate is happening in real time. Loeb argues the tight jets without rotational smearing plus 11 other anomalies make artificial origin worth investigating. Mainstream astronomers argue complex topography plus variable outgassing plus viewing geometry can explain it without invoking technology. Both sides are using the same images, same data, different interpretations. That's science, not myth. The chemical composition data adds another layer. Nickel vapor detected at 4 times Earth-Sun distance. That's unusual. Most metals don't vaporize at those temperatures, but comets contain a lot of complex materials. organic compounds, salts, different ices with different sublimation temperatures, carbon dioxide sublimates at higher temperatures than water ice, explaining why 3I Atlas shows strong carbon dioxide signature. If nickel is embedded in or mixed with volatile ices, it could be released as those ices sublimate even at cold distances. Or the cosmic ray irradiation over billions of years could have altered the surface chemistry, creating compounds that release nickel more easily. The thick, irradiated crust suggested by Webb data supports this. Billions of years of cosmic ray bombardment breaks chemical bonds, creates free radicals, forms new compounds. That processing could produce surface that behaves differently from fresh comet material. So nickel vapor at cold distance is unusual for solar system comets, but might be normal for ancient irradiated interstellar comets. We have sample size of 1 for irradiated interstellar comets, so we don't know what's normal. The carbon dioxide fog is thick. Webb and SphereX both detected it. But carbon monoxide is centrally concentrated rather than extended like carbon dioxide. Why the difference? Different sublimation rates? Different distribution in the nucleus? Chemical processing during the journey? The data raises questions faster than answers emerge. That's typical for new objects. First observations produce puzzles. Later observations and analysis resolve some puzzles, reveal new ones. Science is iterative. Most solar system objects orbit close to this plane because they formed from the same protoplanetary disk. Interstellar objects should have random inclinations because they come from random directions in the galaxy. 3. I-Atlas has retrograde orbit, opposite direction from planets, but the orbital plane aligns within 5 degrees of the ecliptic. Random chance of that alignment is about 0.2%, 1 in 500, unusual but not impossible. 1. I-Oumuamua had higher inclination. 2. I-Borisov had higher inclination. 3. I is the outlier. Does it mean anything? Maybe just luck. Maybe selection bias. Objects aligned with ecliptic spend more time in the inner solar system where detection is easier. Maybe gravitational focusing by the galaxy as the object approached the solar system, or maybe it's a clue about origin. If the object came from a star system with similar galactic orbit as the Sun, the alignment makes more sense. Thick disk origin would support that. Loeb argues it's suspicious. Mainstream astronomers argue 1 in 500 events happen 1 in 500 times. Not evidence of anything special. Both arguments are valid. The data is what it is. The interpretation depends on priors. NASA's November 19th event will include imagery from multiple missions. Hubble continues observing. Webb has data from August. TESS satellite data. Swift observations. SphereX observations. Multiple Mars missions. Reconnaissance Orbiter, Perseverance Rover, Curiosity Rover. Parker Solar Probe might have distant observations. Europa Clipper, Lucy, Psyche missions might contribute if geometry allows. SOHO and Punch solar observatories might have captured it near perihelion. ESA's JUICE mission will observe as 3 I-Atlas heads toward Jupiter. The comprehensive campaign represents mobilization of NASA's planetary science fleet for a rare interstellar visitor. The data collection is unprecedented for an interstellar object. 1 I-Oumuamua was observed for a few weeks before fading. 2. I-Borisov was observed for a few months. 3. I-Atlas has been under continuous observation since July 1st. Will continue through December, possibly into early 2026. 4 to 6 months of data. Perihelion passage observed by Mars spacecraft. Multi-wavelength spectroscopy. Photometry tracking brightness changes. Imaging from multiple viewing angles. When the full dataset is published, it will represent the most comprehensive study of an interstellar object ever conducted. That's the real story. Not cover-up, not aliens, not threats. Science. The myths about 3 I-Atlas are misleading everyone because they replace curiosity with fear, evidence with speculation, process with conspiracy. The comet is real, the observations are real, the data is accessible. The scientific debate is happening openly. Images are being released, more coming November 19th. Live streams available. Amateur astronomers can observe it themselves with small telescopes. The transparency is total. The claims of no new images are factually false. November alone produced more than a dozen publicly released images from multiple independent observers on multiple continents using different instruments. The high-rise delay is explained by government shutdown, confirmed by congressional correspondence, resolved with scheduled release. Every myth has a documented rebuttal. Every conspiracy claim falls apart under basic fact-checking. The irony is that the truth is more interesting than the myths. We have a billion-year-old comet from another star system, possibly older than the Sun, carrying ancient material formed in a different stellar environment, exhibiting chemical signatures we've never seen before. presenting scientific puzzles about outgassing mechanisms and surface composition, providing unique opportunity to study interstellar materials up close. That's extraordinary. That's worth celebrating. That's why hundreds of scientists worldwide are dedicating telescope time and analysis time to study it. Not because they're hiding something, because discovery matters. The final data point that destroys the no new images myth: the Virtual Telescope Project is live streaming 3 Dollar Atlas, November 19th at 0415 UTC. Real-time observation. Anyone can watch. Anyone can see the comet. No intermediaries, no government control, no filtering. Just robotic telescopes in Italy pointed at the sky, cameras recording, stream broadcasting live. You want proof the comet exists and is observable? Watch the live stream. You want proof images are available? Check the Virtual Telescope Project website, where they've posted November 5th, November 6th, November 10th, November 11th images with full technical data. You want proof NASA isn't hiding anything? Watch the November 19th, 3 p.m. Eastern event where they release HiRISE and other mission data. You want proof the scientific community is engaged? Read the published papers, the Medium posts from working astronomers, the observation logs from professional observatories. The evidence is overwhelming. The myths are baseless. The truth is available to anyone willing to look. And here's what makes this case study valuable beyond 3. iAtlas itself. It shows how misinformation spreads in the social media age. Real event happens. Comet discovery. Real delay happens. Government shutdown. Real uncertainty exists. Unusual chemical signatures. Conspiracy theories fill the gaps. Cover up. Aliens. Threats. False claims spread faster than corrections. No new images. NASA hiding data. Military operations. Corrections arrive too slowly. Images released, but posts still claim none exist. The myth persists despite evidence because people share what's exciting, not what's accurate. And the correction is never as viral as the falsehood. Space. Live Science, NASA, ESA, all posting factual updates. Dozens of articles, official statements, all contradicting the myths. Yet the myths still circulate. Why? Because ancient comet from another star is cool but not scary. Alien spacecraft conspiracy is scary and exciting. Fear and excitement are more viral than facts. The solution is media literacy. Check sources. Look for primary data. Verify claims against official channels. If someone says no new images, search for 3 iAtlas images. November 20 to 25 and find dozens. If someone says NASA hiding data, check NASA's website and see release schedules. If someone says alien spacecraft, read what actual astronomers analyzing actual spectral data actually say. The tools exist, the information exists. The choice is whether to use them. The upcoming observations through December will provide the final chapter of 3 iAtlas's visibility, closest approach to Earth. December 19th at 1.8 AU. Still far, still safe, but better viewing geometry for Northern Hemisphere observers. Brightness may increase if outgassing continues, or may fade if activity decreases. The comet is heading out. By March 2026, gone forever. This is the only chance humanity will ever have to study this specific object. The observations happening now are for all time. Miss the window and the knowledge is lost. That's why astronomers prioritize these observations. That's why NASA mobilized multiple missions. That's why amateurs worldwide are contributing data. The opportunity is unique. The science is real. The myths are noise. What matters is the data. What matters is the evidence. What matters is using this visitor from another star to learn about planet formation, chemical evolution, interstellar space, stellar environments beyond our own. That's the story, that's the truth. That's what everyone should be talking about, instead of conspiracy theories that crumble under minimal scrutiny. November 6th, Virtual Telescope Project. November 9th, Niebling and Buckner. November 11th, Jewett and Liu confirming intact single body. November 16th, Murata capturing multi-million kilometer jets. November 17th, Kugel adding more observations. November 19th, NASA releasing HiRISE data from Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, 3 times better resolution than Hubble. November 19th, Virtual Telescope Project, live streaming real-time observations. The images exist, the data exists, the truth exists. The myths are misleading everyone. Don't be misled.